Phoebe Wild with BoardGameGeek at Gen Con 2016, and I'm here with Adam and Brady Stadler, who are representing Cryptozoic Entertainment, designers of the game The Walking Dead No Sanctuary.
Yep.
So tell us a bit about it.
All right, so The Walking Dead No Sanctuary is obviously based on the AMC television show. It's a fully cooperative game that features highly detailed miniatures. These are the prototype standees, of course. But in the game, everybody's playing one of the iconic survivors, and you're trying to work together to complete scenarios that are based off of the stories in the seasons of the television show. However, the game is driven by a leader mechanic that makes cooperation kind of difficult, a little tricky. So every survivor's got their own deck of cards that lets them do the special things, but they contradict each other constantly. So the trick is trying to work together, making your actions cooperate with the group. And I mean, that's kind of just the high-level overview. You can,
Yeah, the leader kind of takes charge and tries to guide the group during the turn, and if the group doesn't do exactly what the leader says, they can stress the leader out, and stress is bad in the game. But sometimes it's inevitable. You can't avoid it, so.
Yeah, and then leadership can pass between survivors, because everyone gets a chance to be in the spotlight being the leader, but you're making tough choices, so sometimes you want to pass it off and let somebody else call the shots while you just try to deal with the overall situation going on with the walkers and everything.
Oh, give us a bit of a rundown about how it plays, how it
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so it starts off with the planning phase. So everyone's going to have a hand of cards. So let's say I'm playing Rick. So I'll have 3 cards starting off, and in the planning phase, everyone draws a card, and then the leader's going to draw 2 cards off the event deck. So all the do you have an overhead camera? Yeah. So the event's going to have color-coordinated cards, and those correspond to different approaches. And you can see those match with the survivor cards. So the survivor cards have approaches that match. So whenever the leader chooses one of these cards to put into play, like he says, let's lighten the load. So he puts this into play on the group sheet, and that sets the group's approach to be normal for the turn. So this one gets discarded, and because it's discarded, there's a negative effect that triggers. So because you're ignoring this effect. So.
Yeah. And if Rick plays this card, and then it's Daryl's turn, and I decide I don't have a green card maybe, so I'll play this because I'm doing my crossbow to attack the walker. I didn't listen to Rick, so he gets stressed.
I'm not enjoying that.
And so the next time Rick does something, he might have more of a challenge to do his actions.
And the stress is bad because all your actions revolve around dice, which you roll based on your stats. So if Rick attacks, he's going to roll 2 white dice, which are good, and then he's going to add stress dice for each stress he has, and then also if there's walkers in your space, let's say we're getting attacked by a walker, so I'm going to roll 1 dice for my stress token, another die for the walker in my space, and that's how bad things happen. Because if you roll these lightning bolts, you raise up the threat on the threat track, which means more walkers will start noticing you and start coming to attack you, so it just makes bad things happen. So stress piles up over the course of the scenarios, and it's mainly a matter of balancing out your stress levels and your group morale while trying to complete the objectives, the overall objectives.
So how many scenarios come with the game?
So the base game
comes with 6, and then there's also been 2 expansions in the Kickstarter, and those each have 4 more. And there are also some additional scenarios in the Kickstarter as well.
Do they link? Do you play them in a particular order and they tell a story?
No, you can play them in any order you want, but they do. The main scenarios do represent events in the TV show, so you can recreate those. But you can also play them with different characters, so you can do what-if scenarios. So.
Yeah, so there's no like carryover campaign stuff, but if you play them in order, you're essentially playing through the TV show, story-wise,
How many players is the game for?
So 1 to 4 players.
Every scenario will have an ally side on the back, so if you're playing with less than 4 players...
Survivor.
What's that?
You said scenario, you mean survivor.
Ally survivor. Each survivor will have a new ally side, and they're not on the prototype, but they will have an ally side on the back. If you're not playing as that ally or that survivor, then the ally has a simpler rules where you don't need to use a deck, so they can play easier.
So you still have to manage a group, but you have more control over them because they're less likely to go off on their own because they're automated, but you get to make the decisions for them, but they still stress you out and everything, so it balances out pretty well.
And about how long does a scenario take to play through?
About average, about an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's probably the sweet spot.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah,
that is The Walking Dead No Sanctuary by Cryptozoic Entertainment.
Thanks.
Thank you.